And I know who's behind Bitcoin. And it ain't some fucking Japanese guy in a cave. I know the guy. And when that comes out, you heard it here first. Bitcoin is going to zero. Zero. If you knew who was really behind Bitcoin, you would run as fast as you could to sell it. I know. 100%. If you knew who owned Bitcoin or who started Bitcoin, you had Bitcoin, you couldn't sleep at night. I know. 100%. And when the real founder of Bitcoin comes out, it is my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me, Bitcoin will go to zero. A microsecond. Whoop, like that.
Have you changed your views on Bitcoin and or cryptocurrency in any respect? I'm conflicted about this because his own views have slightly evolved during the past 2 years from Bitcoin as a fraud and waste to Bitcoin is in a speculative bubble but might have some uses.
Well, I shouldn't answer any questions on the subject, but I will. There's all kinds of people watching this that are long Bitcoin, and there's nobody that's short, and nobody wants their windpipe stepped on. I don't blame them. I don't like people who step on my windpipe. But I would say this, that if the people in this room owned all of the farmland in the United States, and you offered me a 1% interest in it, and you said for a 1% interest in all the farmland in the United States, pay our group, well, let's see, 10 trillion, pay us this bargain price, $25 billion. I'll write you a check this afternoon, $25 billion, now I own 1% of the farmland. If you tell me you own 1% of the apartment houses in the United States, and you offer me a 1% interest, so I'll have a 1% interest in all the apartment houses in the country, and you want whatever it may be for it, then call it another $25 billion or something. I'll write you a check. It's very simple. Now, if you told me you owned all of the Bitcoin in the world and you offered it to me for $25, I wouldn't take it because what would I do with it? I have to sell it back to you one way or another. I mean, maybe I have the same people, but it isn't going to do anything.
Well, that was interesting, right? Two different perspectives. One person says Bitcoin's going to fucking zero. Warren Buffett sees no value in Bitcoin. What's the real answer? Can Bitcoin go to zero? Me personally, I don't think it's going to zero. The closest it's going to get to zero, been to zero, was back in December 12, 2011. Bitcoin price was $3.28. Imagine getting Bitcoin at $3, guys. Now it is a whopping $94,000. But like I said, Buffett made a good point. If who owns all the Bitcoin? If just a few people own all the Bitcoin, what's going to be the worth? If Michael Saylor owns all of it, the government owns all of it, then where's the real value in Bitcoin? So it had me thinking, the top 10 biggest holders of Bitcoin in the billions they are worth. And I'm going to give you a list of Bitcoin, who controls the Bitcoin market, unmasking the biggest BTC holders. And of course, the number one will be Satoshi Nakamoto, who nobody knows who he is. But apparently he holds 1.1 million BTC. That is a lot of money. The Winklevoss twins, 70,000 BTC. Tim Draper, 29,000. Michael Saylor, 17,732. Zhao Zhao. Public traded companies with the largest Bitcoin holders. MicroStrategy again, 528,000. Mara, which is a Bitcoin mining company, 46,000. Riot Platform, 18,000. Tesla, 11,000 BTC. CleanSpark, 11,000. But the key here is that there's still more Bitcoin to be mined. And to be honest, there's over 1 million Bitcoins still to be mined. All right. Remember, we also got some lost Bitcoin, lost wallets. So rough figures, probably out of that 21 million coins available, it's probably really like 19 million available. But they still have 1.1 million coins to be mined. And don't forget, the government is getting to Bitcoin as well, with the establishment of the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve and United States Digital Asset Stockpile. The United States government currently holds a significant amount of BTC, but has not implemented a policy to maximize BTC's strategic position as a unique store of value in the global financial system. It's coming soon. If you've been following the news, you know that Donald Trump's son is now invested in a Bitcoin mining company as well. Section 2 of the policy is the policy of the United States to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve. It is further the policy of the United States to establish a United States digital asset stockpile that could serve as a secure account for orderly and strategic management of United States other digital asset holdings. So the government's getting involved. I don't think Bitcoin is going down to zero. But what about quantum computing, where they can just break into all the wallets and such and such? And this is Andreas I can't pronounce his name, Anatopoulos, who is the Bitcoin and open blockchain expert. And here's what he thinks about quantum computing. Okay, so check this video out.
Let's see, another.
Okay, so is it possible that, for example, NSA builds quantum computer that will be able to break Bitcoin crypto?
Yes. It is certain that the NSA has already built quantum computers because Google has one in their data center, and if they have one, the NSA has one that's 10 times better, that costs as much as a moon mission, and that can break encryption systems at a much, much better rate and with more efficiency. Now, here's the interesting question. Do they use that to break Bitcoin? And the simple answer is no.
And here's another reason, well, a couple reasons why I think Bitcoin will not go to zero, mainly because of decentralization. And these are key points. One, no single point of failure, because Bitcoin runs on thousands of nodes worldwide. It's almost impossible to shut it down. Even if one country bans it, Bitcoin survives elsewhere. Two, censorship resistant. No government, bank, or authority can block transactions or freeze your Bitcoin. If you own your private keys, you control your money. Three, trusted system. You don't need to trust a bank, government, or third party. The Bitcoin network itself, through math, cryptography, and code, enforces the rules automatically. And another reason people like Bitcoin, because damn, like you have to deal with a bank, you can send money just like that in a matter of minutes for a fraction of a cost of a wire transfer. Global accessibility. Anyone with an internet connection can participate. No banks, no credit scores, just you, a wallet, and a blockchain. Security due distribution. With so many participants validating transactions, Bitcoin is incredibly secure. Hacking it will require unimaginable resources like quantum computing, more than most governments possesses. Innovation friendly, because no central entity controls Bitcoin. Developers and entrepreneurs can build new tools, apps, and businesses around it without needing permission. Inflation protection. No central bank can print more Bitcoin on a whim. The supply is hard capped at 21 million coins, enforced by a decentralized network, guys. So I don't think Bitcoin is going to zero. Check out this another clip from my boy Andrew Tate, why he thinks it's not going to zero as well. And guys, before you click off the video, make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button as well.
I'll tell you what will make you believe in crypto. If you ever try and send $1 million through a bank, you will see the levels of bullshit you have to go through. It's my money that I make, and I'm sending it to somebody. And I have to go through weeks of papers and questions and garbage, and it bounces back and blocks and new pieces of paper and letters from tax authorities and interviews. Whereas with Bitcoin, I press 2 buttons. It costs me 35 cents. It's done in 3 minutes. And there's too many people with a lot of money who are tired of banks. That's why Bitcoin will never go to zero.